So a few weeks back, I made some videos with some language around resistance and keeping yourself and your community members safe in case you were attacked by some masked criminals on the street trying to kidnap you or your loved ones and take you away to an unknown location. Some of those videos went incredibly viral, and I was promptly visited a few weeks later by our friendly neighborhood DHS agents. They had a few questions for me, and many of you have asked what happened during that conversation. Well, my last live stream, I went through a whole summary and answered a bunch of questions about what that was like. So now I cut it up and I'm gonna show it to you guys in case you missed that opportunity to check it out. That's about it. So I hope you guys get something out of this and leave some comments if you have any more questions. All right. The DHS meetup was actually pretty chill. As far as them showing up to my place, it was not that bad, actually. I was just hanging out in my trailer, and then I heard somebody calling out, looked over, and they were out back here outside the fence. I kind of immediately suspected it was some kind of law enforcement, but I thought it was like code enforcement or something. I walked out to the fence, and they were like, you know, hey, we're DHS, and they showed me their badge, and they were like, we have some questions for you. At first, I was like, oh, I don't want to answer any questions, because I just, you know, it's what you're supposed to say. They didn't seem aggressive at all. He's like, oh, are you sure? Like, we just want to talk to you for a second, you know? And I was like, okay, cool. We'll do it. So I chatted with him for a bit. It was two guys. They had driven out here from Seattle, so about like 3-hour drive. It did not seem like they wanted to be out here. He basically started out by saying that exact thing. He was like, dude, look, I don't want to be out here right now. I just had to drive 3 hours to come out here. Basically, like, my boss's boss got word from somebody in DC who saw one of your videos. They wanted me to come out here and like take you into custody or whatever. I watched them and I don't see an issue with what you're doing. Like, it just seems like you're using your freedom of speech, but I have to like take your statement and make a report anyway. Yeah, you're right, Skeletor. Never talk without a lawyer. Honestly, I had some adrenaline and I just didn't really know. I mean, I have not had to deal with a lot of law enforcement in my life, right? No, at least not them just showing up at my door like that. That feels a little more personal. Next time, if they come back and they want to talk again, for sure. It was just funny though, because he was like, trying to get me in some way to like, he was like, I see what you're implying, like blah, blah, blah in your videos. And I was like, man, I've been really clear. Like, I do not condone violence in my content. I do not make threats of violence in my content. I put disclaimers in my videos to tell people what's going on and that they shouldn't do things that are dangerous. And if other people like comment things or misinterpret my message, like, I don't have control over that. And I will say, I wanted to tell you guys who are on here too, for anybody watching, they said that they had surfed through the comment section too, and that this kind of stuff, they didn't say this, but this kind of stuff has been happening to people who aren't just like content creators. Like, I just say, be aware what you're commenting, because they are looking to mess with whoever they can, I think, at this point. Things are bleak if a YouTuber is considered a threat. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Plus, like, a lot of the things that I learn on here, or like that I've made videos about, that are more like self-defense focused, or like the home property protection and stuff like that, I learned that shit off of like MAGA YouTube. Like, there's way worse shit out there than anything I'm doing. It's just so obviously an intimidation like campaign that they're running right now. So who's their boss's boss who ordered them out there, and did they seem fed up with the whole process? Don't know who their bosses are. They didn't say. I got the impression that the impetus for them visiting me came from somebody really high up in DC. That's what he told me. And they did seem fed up. Yeah, like one guy, the guy who was talking mainly to me, just was like over it seemed like, but still kind of doing his job. And it was in the back of my mind the whole time, being very thoughtful of what I said, because they did seem to, I was like, they could just be trying to cozy up to me and like make me comfortable so that I'll say what they want me to say. But the other guy mostly just was like writing down my statement, and he was like very friendly. And and at the end, you know, the guy who was talking to me, he was like, see, man, like, you know, his stuff's just all about survival. Like he like, I had the greenhouse set up in the front yard, and he's like, see, he takes pallets and he just like builds stuff with them. It's like really cool. And like, you know, he's like getting these out of the landfill and stuff. He's like, see, he built that cabin back there. I was like, yep, that's it. That's pretty much what I do. Cool, guys, all right. Anyway, yeah, what video triggered their attention? I'm not gonna say the exact ones they mentioned. I think that if you guys scroll back to a couple months ago, some of the ones where I was using the resistance language, I would say, is the ones that triggered their attention. Started when the first admin ordered the FBI to investigate Kathy Griffin. They consistently go after. Yeah, I mean, it's been happening to a ton of people. Like, there's been some like very prominent reporters who have gotten taken into custody and stuff, and then they get released. You know, I haven't really seen a lot of people getting charged with anything. It's like they're more just like trying to tie people up in legal fees and scare people, and you know, but they don't actually have a case, I think, in a lot of this stuff, right? Like, yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm in Washington's not a fully blue state, but Western Washington is like, Seattle's definitely incredibly blue. Out here, it's more of a purple county, but I think if I'd been in like deep MAGA country, the interaction probably could have gone very differently. So I'm grateful for that. They're expending resources against the stuff that means it's working. That's how I feel too. Yeah, it was kind of validating for sure for me. Like, you know, I guess I made the right person mad, but let's see. They know they're losing control. They're scared. How does it feel to be scared of the people that you try to control? Yeah. I agree. I do think that they're losing control of the narrative. I think a lot of what's happening right now is an information war. I think that's what we're primarily fighting right now. And I do think that the grip is loosening on that. I do think there's momentum for a better situation for a lot of us. I think they're starting to freak out. It's not about charging, it's about intimidation, extortion of legal fees. It's literal death by 1,000 cuts. That's what the mob does. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, you know, they just want to tie people up because we don't have the money to pay for that stuff. They've just got endless. They can throw at this shit. So yeah, but they can't intimidate everyone, I don't think, right? It's important to get an IRL community going on, ultra organized, you know, just for emotional support. Yeah, emotional and otherwise, agreed. Yes. Did I get any legal advice after DHS came? I did not. I talked to I didn't get any legal advice from a lawyer. I talked to a friend of mine who works in public media, and he showed it to like the writing department, their writing team, and people who deal with this kind of thing a lot. And they were like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, there's like no case here. I think where I've landed is that I will just, if they come back, then it's like no questions until a lawyer's present, so. Praying you're not a libertarian. I don't really identify as stuff. I know that's kind of something that people take issue with sometimes, but I don't feel like I'm actually very versed in politics. I'm very passionate about when I see things that don't feel right in society, and for me, I would prefer to just be able to live the way that I want to live and allow others to live the way that they want to live. But I am not very good at like housing those things within, or maybe I'm just not educated enough to house those within actual terminology. So I don't know, maybe I am, maybe I'm not sure. How am I empowered in protecting myself after the visit? I think just like, it feels empowering in a way to know that it is like a real, it is a concrete reality that I need to prepare for in some way or another, versus like it being this kind of thing that you see on the internet, but you don't actually know like how big of an issue it is that you individually need to potentially take into consideration. So I think that aspect of it, it's like, okay, now that I know that this is a thing, like I can actually, you know, more readily prepare myself for it. And as far as being prepared, I think just knowing, like getting a lawyer is going to be the main thing. But also just like taking what rights I do know that I have more seriously. Still kind of working on it, I guess.